Hello everybody, welcome to I think this is going to be the third video for Thursday, and this is a little video going over the comic book history of Sauron as well as his abilities from the source to give us an idea of what flavour he's going to be when he comes into game. The look of the character is pretty cool, and a lot of you may actually remember this character from previous TV series. He definitely made quite the appearance in Hulk and Agents of Smash, and some of you may remember him from X-Men the Animated Series in the story arc Savage Land, Savage Heart. Now, based on how I have seen him in the past, I think that the look which Kabam have given him on screen right now is a pretty cool look. It's given him a little kind of like tactical belt and pouches because he is like part human and part pterodon. And yeah, to those dinosaur Andes in the comment sections, yeah, I called him a pterodactyl. But the thing is, it's very easy to get the two confused. That's why I present dinosaurs with RichTheMan. So a pterodactyl and a pteranodon are two genera. To quickly talk about the similarities, they're both of the same geno, which is the pterosaur. They're both winged reptiles. They both don't have feathers, and they both lived in the Mesozoic era. Also, pterodactyls were winged reptiles with teeth. Pteranodons, however, were reptiles without teeth. And pterodactyls lived in the late Jurassic period of the Mesozoic era, while pteranodons lived in the late Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era. There are also some other infographics information which I'll put in the description. I don't know if anybody really cares, but it's just one of these things to go like, look, they're very similar, but they're not the same. So Sauron is based on a pteranodon. And what is my YouTube career coming to when I'm explaining dinosaurs on a Marvel swipe tap game? Anyway, moving on, comic book history time. As a young boy, Carl Lycos went with his father on an expedition to Tierra del Fuego near the Antarctic Circle. Along with them on the journey were a physician called Dr. Anderson and his daughter Tanya, who was about the same age as Carl. At one point during the trip, Tanya became lost and Carl found it in a cave being attacked by a gigantic pteranodon, a form of flying reptile from the age of the dinosaurs. Yeah, we've done that. They were actually from Savage Land, the tropical region in Antarctica where prehistoric creatures still live. Apparently the pteranodons had travelled to Tierra del Fuego through the natural subterranean tunnels. Carl drove the pteranodons off with his walking stick, but not before he was severely bitten. Traumatized by their experience, neither Carl nor Tanya remembered the pteranodons, and Dr. Anderson used his medical skills to save Carl's life. Grateful to Carl for saving Tanya's life, Dr. Anderson allowed Carl to live with him and Tanya after Carl's father died. For reasons that have never been explained, the pteranodon's bite somehow changed Carl, apparently altering his genetic structure. Carl discovered that he needed to drain life energy from other living beings to survive. His first unintentional victim was his dog Jaeger, whom he drained the energy simply by touching him. Carl kept his condition a secret even after he found himself forced to drain energy from other human beings. However, he killed none of them, merely leaving them temporarily weakened. And as Carl grew older, he fell in love with Tanya, but the stern Dr. Anderson refused to let her marry Carl because his lack of financial means. So Carl Lycos set off for medical school, vowing to become wealthy so he could marry Tanya. Lycos became a hypnotherapist, but his need for life energy increased as he became an adult. Hence, he constructed devices through which he could drain the patient's life energies into himself. Now, you're probably wondering, how did he get his name, and also how did he get to look like a big dinosaur? Well, after treating Havoc's wounds, Lycos began using his equipment to drain life energy from him. However, this was the first time that Lycos had ever siphoned energy from a superhuman mutant, with a result that he had never experienced before. The energy triggered his metamorphosis into a creature that resembled a half-humanoid pteranodon. The transformation distorted Lycos' personality, turning him evil. And I don't know if this is 100% correct, but it looks like the inspiration between going from that good to very evil was the transition that Sauron had in Lord of the Rings, done by J.R.R. Tolkien. And if you know the character in Lord of the Rings, you'll know that, Sauron, power of the ring is enough to turn anyone into some horrible thing. I mean, look at what happened to the wraiths and the kind of the ghosts of the dead and stuff like that. It's crazy how power corrupts, and in particular, evil power. Now, things haven't been going well for Sauron, and up until the point with an interaction with the X-Men, Beast was able to create a medicine that would stop and suppress Carl's hunger. And with the treatment of Sauron seemingly over, Carl resumed a normal life with Tanya, whom he soon married. This is where there's a little bit of a twist in the tale. And it looks like Toad comes on the scene for the Brotherhood of Mutants and has a device that is able to reactivate his mutation, or reactivate his lust for energy. And in the process, because of Toad's actions, he actually sucks the life force from Tanya, the person that he's been in love with, and kills her in the process. So like, man, Toad is a little, yeah, Toad. And that puts him back into Lycos, back to Sauron, and nefarious deeds obviously come from that. Later on in Sauron's story arc, he finds himself in the Weapon X program. It's not been a great time for Sauron, but he's been experimented on, and in the program he became initially less intelligent, more prone to berserk rages, and without the ability to use his hypnotic powers. There's also this really kind of like twist on things where he gets captured, and after transforming into Sauron, he was shot through the head by the second Black Widow, so whether or not that's going to be Yelena Belova. Fortunately for Sauron, he had absorbed Wolverine's regenerative healing factor and recovered from his injuries. He was taken back into custody, but not before returning the favour to Black Widow by burning her with his fiery breath. Do you know what? It's actually been really fun to learn a bit more about Sauron, especially like his antics and stuff that he's been up to. So the question on my lips and everyone else's lips is, well, what powers should he possess? Will he possess them in game? So he has the mutant power absorption. If he absorbs the life force of mutants, he will absorb a portion of their powers temporarily. And whether or not that's something like similar to Omega Red, the way he kind of like absorbs stuff the same way that Rogue is able to let SP1 absorb things as well, it could be the same or similar. Energy Blast. Due to his manipulation by the Weapon X program, he could absorb electrical power from aircraft, whether or not he's going to have something like, I don't know, Incinerate immunity, and have some shock immunity, but turn into a bit like Bishop, where he's able to project stuff back out. And the other stuff are natural superhuman strength that kind of comes with any kind of character. Flight, as we know, he's probably going to fly. And the pterodactyl natural weapons, lethal beak and sharp talons. Will he do bleed? Of course he'll probably do bleed. Fire breath, ability to breathe fire, which he used to burn the second Black Widow in revenge for shooting him. Yeah. The flames are powerful enough to inflict third-degree burns on someone as resilient as Hercules. There you go. Hercules is screwed. Yeah, I'd love this to be like a nodding game with interaction. Hypnosis and telekinesis. Will this be something that will be touched upon? I don't know. But I'm actually relatively excited. I'm probably more excited for Sauron than I would be for Toad. And that again is just down to like some like little kind of interactions. And especially here, like he burnt Hercules. I'm gonna have to do that in some sort of like thumbnail thing or mention it. I can't believe that, but I love it. In any case, that has been the video. Those abilities look really fun, and I hope that we see a lot of them in game. What are your thoughts on the character? What are your thoughts now you learn a bit more about him, as well as like some of the comic book source abilities? And also make sure to check out some other content I've posted on screen. There should be a Toad video already out on the channel, as well as today's Cavalier Nexus crystal openings. Go and check that out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.